guys, it's Harley and welcome to my May wrap up. As you can tell, I just filmed my March intro. I'm trying to get caught back up in May, and I have one book to talk about that I finished, and I'm almost done with another one, so I'll probably have an update in like a very short period of time. But I wanted to get this one out of the way just so I can say I've done it. The first book that I read in May was The Wolf King by Lauren Pelferman. I don't know. She's got a really long last name. But this is the first book in a series. I don't know if it's a trilogy. I know there's at least 3 books. 2 that are out and like one's coming out. And this is the Fairyloot edition. It's gorgeous, stunning. Look at this artwork on the inside. Beautiful. I was like, oh my god. This on the back. I mean, I'm more obsessed with these two. I know other people are obsessed with man on the back, but yes. Anyways, so in this book, our main character is Aurora. She is a princess, and she's supposed to be getting married off to this Sebastian guy. I believe that was his name. And she's basically kind of a pawn to her father and to this other dude. And they live in a world where there are werewolves, and they really dislike them. And when we start the book, she is with her like fiance, and they're watching wolves fight each other. But I believe they just are fighting each other in their human form. But there's a young werewolf that is going to fight, and Aurora can't handle it, and she demands that they stop, and she ends up saving his life. And that kind of catches the eye of his alpha, who has also been captured, and she goes to take care of the young werewolf to see if he's all right and everything. And she kind of gets a little bit of their like dynamic while she's in there. And then later that night, the werewolves have planned an escape, and our werewolf alpha Callum has come to take her with them. He's planning on using her as like leverage against her fiance to get this, like, I believe it's called a wolf stone. And he doesn't like force her to go with him, but he gives her like the option. Like, she can stay where he knows that she's going to be miserable, or she can come with him and he'll keep her safe. So she decides to take the risk, and she goes with him back to his clan, and things go from there. Like I said, she's been like taught her whole life that like werewolves are bad, so now she's surrounded by the enemy essentially, and it's quite a bit of a culture shock to her, like being around them and seeing that they're not as bad as she was led to believe, and that they're actually a lot like regular people. And she finds herself falling for Callum along the way, which, I mean, he's like super nice like the whole time. Like, he was very nice. I like him a lot. And we also meet this other werewolf guy named Blake, and he's like the healer. And there's something going on with Callum and Blake because like they don't like each other. And also we have the Wolf King, who is Callum's brother, and he comes in later in the book. He's like not there when they get back, and there's a whole thing. They end up back at her kingdom, and things go down. And then this book ends, I wouldn't really say like cliffhanger-y, but there is something that happens, and you find out like a couple characters are tied together. You learn a secret about one of the other characters, and it's kind of like you're left like, what is happening? But I love this. I listened to the audiobook, which I thought the audiobook was really good, and I think that's really the only reason I got through this book, because I am in like the worst reading slump. It is over halfway through May, and this is the only book I've read. I just cannot physically read at all. My brain is like so fried. I can't read, and I can't contain information. I'm having a real hard time. But I did really enjoy this one. I ended up giving it, I think, 4 stars or 4.25. I can't remember which, but it could have been higher possibly, but like I said, I'm just struggling reading so bad. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and I'm really excited to go into book 2. I can't wait to find out what happens, and then maybe I can get caught up before book 3. That would be great. But that is my update, and I'll be back in a little bit with another one. Okay, I just finished Good Girl, Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. That's the second book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, and I thought the audiobook was really fun once again. I am going to give it a 4-star because I didn't enjoy it as much as the first book. I mean, also that might be a little bit of my reading slump, I don't know. But I felt like the mystery wasn't as good as the first one. I just felt like I didn't care quite as much. And maybe there was just like too much going on, I don't know. But this one follows Pip as she gets pulled into another investigation. Her friend's brother goes missing. His mother and his brother are very upset and are worried about him. His dad just kind of thinks that he went off because occasionally he will disappear. His mother and brother ask her to please investigate and put it on her podcast, get the word out there, because they're very worried. So she starts to investigate. She discovers some things that point in the direction that the mother and brother may be right, that he may be in danger himself. Like I said, I don't know, just something about this didn't grip me quite as much as the first one. I wasn't as invested in the mystery and in the story. I really don't know what it was about it that like just didn't hook me, but like I said, I did enjoy it. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. It may have just been my reading slump and me just not being able to like really get into things, I don't know, but I am still very excited to read the 3rd book in the series. The other day, I ended up finishing my buddy read from April, yes, because it's May. I'm lost, okay? I finished To Love a Beast by Karen Whitmire, unsure. This is the first book in the Once Upon a Time in Texas series. It kind of follows historical retellings of fairy tales. So this one is a Beauty and the Beast inspired one. So our main character, Calista, or Callie, is a bookbinder, and her father is hired to rebind this guy's library collection. But her father ends up getting injured, and she goes in his place. And there she meets our love interest, Everett. Everett is our beast. He had a very traumatic incident happen in New York. He was pursuing somebody. He had an incident that resulted in him being attacked and having a scar on his face. Sansa is being very vocal right now. After the attack, he secluded himself down in Texas, away from everybody. He doesn't really talk to his family. He has a very close-knit group of people that work for him that are his friends. So obviously it's going to be their love story. They're going to fall in love. I thought this was actually a really good Beauty and the Beast retelling. I really liked it. It had like all the key points I want in a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and like things weren't like too obvious, but it was fun being like, oh, I recognize that reference, I get that. I really enjoyed how she interwove those pieces into her story. I thought the romance between Everett and Calista was like very sweet. I really like them. I really, really like Everett. He was probably my favorite character from this book. I just really enjoyed him and really felt for him and what he went through and how he was coping with everything. Going into this, I did not know that this author is like a Christian author, so there's a lot of little Christian references and like religious stuff, and that's not something I gravitate towards. I don't mind if they like have a little sentence here and there, but when it goes on for a while, I feel like it's a little preachy, and I ain't into that. So my enjoyment was lowered from that. But like I said, this Beauty and the Beast wise was great, but the religious stuff knocked me down a bit. So I ended up giving this one 3.75. If that's something that doesn't bother you, I would check it out. I really would, because it was fun. Just the religious stuff just kind of took me out. But that is my update on this book. Figured we could have a little car moment as I talk about the next book that I finished. I finished listening to Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery yesterday. I think it was yesterday. It might have been the day before. I think it was the day before. Okay, whatever. I finished it. That's the point. Sorry about the wind if you can hear it. It's very windy today. I finished Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery. I've been really struggling in May reading anything. So I decided to pick up a reread just for something I can listen to and not pay as much attention to. As I've already read it, I know what happens. I don't have to follow along quite as much as I would like a new story. I know what's happening. I've read the book. I've seen the show. I know what's going on. And I think that was a good choice for me because I did still have a lot of fun listening to this and like just remembering things, but I still feel like I am very slumpy. But I did give this one 5 stars again because I just love it, and Shirley Cuthbert is so near and dear to my heart. I just love seeing everyone like grow to care for her and admire her, and just her finding a family. It's just so touching. If you've never read it before, I would definitely recommend this one. The last book I have to talk about for May is Cursed Claws by Danielle Garrett. There's a doggy hair sticking out of there. This is book 3 in the 9 Lives Magic series, and my friend read this, and so we are buddy reading it. So she's rereading it. I'm reading it for the first time. And basically, this book follows a witch named Cora. She lives in a small town that's all just magic folk, and she has a cat named Celine who talks and is very sassy, and she kind of like inherited it from her aunt. Her aunt disappeared, and the cat needs like a connection with a magical being to like sustain a life, so she goes to Cora, and they are looking for her Aunt Lavender, but haven't had much luck yet. At the end of this one, it seems like maybe we're leading more in that direction, which is what I really want. Like, I thought book 2 and this one felt more like little side quests, and I would just like a little bit more plot, but they are fun. There are funny moments. Like I said, Celine's really funny. So I ended up giving this one 3 stars. And those are the books that I read in May, minus the audiobook and Anne of Green Gables, because I think that's packed away. Wasn't a huge reading month. I only read 5 books, but we're still working our way out of the reading slump. But that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.